Hi everyone, this is Valentina and I'm very happy you clicked on my video. By clicking on my video, I hope you will be learning lots of useful things about the plant called Epiprenum aureum. What's that? It's a pothos, the one I have hanging here, and also here. It's a majestic plant that I've grown for about a year. I started with some cuttings of just a few leaves, like this, and it turned into a plant like this in a very short period of time, less than a year I would say. So later in the video I'll explain you the process. Also this one is another variety. It's called Pothos Silver because it has leaves that seem to have silver spots on it. Seeing it live is a different thing, of course, but at least you can get a bit of beauty. If you go to any nursery, it's quite common, so you can see it live, and if you like it, get it. Yet don't expect the same growth as this one, this type here, because it has a much slower growth, so you have to be a bit more patient. So let's start from the origins of the plant, so we can discover what the pothos wants from us. The origin is from tropical areas of Asia or also Australia, so it basically keep it in a place that is around 20 degrees, so it's your home room temperature. It's nothing like not a difficult temperature to reach, even in winter, because 20 degrees it's a temperature that you will have at home. It can also be kept in lower temperature that go to a minimum of 13 degrees, but I definitely don't recommend it, because why stressing your plants for nothing and just to have it outside? It just doesn't make sense, really. It will be weaker, it will grow less strongly the next summer, and you will just see a sad plant, which will not really look nice. So keep it indoors and maybe outdoors in summer. But if you keep it outdoors in summer, make sure the sun does not hit the plant directly, because if the sun is hitting the plant directly, it will burn the leaves and it will destroy it in a matter of a few hours, really. If you're happy, the plant will be happy too. Regarding light, it's not really fussy, so it can stand also in environments that do not have a lot of light, but of course if the more light the better, let's say, because this plant has grown quite a lot, like this much, because it was in a sunny home. The soil is a very common type of soil. It's not picky, as long as it's draining, and the pot has holes, the plant will be happy. You can water it. If you forget, the leaves will start telling you, oh, I'm sad, I need water, but just give it a bit of water and you will save the plant. Keep an eye on it, because it is forgiving. It's very forgiving. If you forget, don't worry about it, but of course it does need light. And what I like to do is to spray it with filtered water. So I pour the water in the spray bottle, in my spray bottle, because I don't want the calcium spots on the leaves. They just look horrible, and I don't want that for my plant. And I try to spray it, so to keep the humidity a bit higher and to make it a bit happier. I fertilize it about once a month, but if I don't fertilize it, it will still not complain a lot. It's so forgiving, really, it's not even funny. Whenever I fertilize it though, I put half of the recommended quantity of fertilizers in even more water, because I don't want to burn the roots of the plant, because the fertilizer, if it's too much, it will make the plant suffer. So once a month in the growing season, not in winter. If you do it a bit less regularly, it will still be happy, no worries. Last thing, it's a very fun thing to do that I always like to do when my pothos become too long. I propagate it from cuttings. So I need a pair of scissors. So I have this pair of scissors, and I can cut a branch that I think is too long. For example, I'll show you this one. This is pretty long, you see? So you can cut right before this leaf. Don't cut the leaf, but right here. This is an example. Now you should do it with more leaves if you want to have a bigger plant, a new bigger plant to grow in your home. But this is just an example. So you see, one thing to know is that these are small things, 1, 2, 3, 4 things, are going to be the new roots of the plant. So each new cutting has to have the leaf to get water, to get sunlight and help it with the photosynthesis. If it doesn't have even one leaf, it will not work. It has to have a node and the main stem here. And it's much better if it has also these small things that will then become long roots. One, then you do the same. This, it has these few things. And this, I leave it like this, with 2 leaves. It's absolutely fine. If you want to keep 3 leaves, same thing. 4 leaves, it's the same. I did it with this plant. At the same time, expect it to root much later in time, because if the plant has to keep all the leaves alive and it has to form the roots, it will have more difficulties. So 1 or 2 leaves are better, easier for the plant, let's say. So what I do, I keep these cuttings, I can put them all together like this. I take a glass, fill it with water, only water, and put the cuttings. The keyword is wait and have patience. The roots will start growing after a while, and you'll have something similar to this. You see, these are the roots of the plant. So this hasn't rooted yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it besides here with the cuttings that I have just made. But look at this root here, it's extremely long. And the others have very good roots too, you see. So you can either keep it in water, it's no problem. But what I like to do is to turn them into a plant, new plant. So it will become like that. So what I do is I get this pot, I get soil, and it's a well-draining soil, wet draining. Why? Because I don't want root rot. And the pot has holes, so if I overwater it, I don't have to worry about it. So soil. It's like this. It has some stones and also perlite that I'm showing you. These white little things are not plastic, it's perlite, and it's useful to make the water drain more quickly. Okay, so I've filled this more or less like this. Then I take these, make a small hole. This, I make sure that all the leaves are outside and the roots are all inside the pot. Okay, then I put soil and cover all the roots. Okay, see, I'm filling in all the pot. I want to press a bit, but not too much, so I don't want to so I don't break all the roots. And last bit of soil here on the side, and we're good to go. The soil at this point is dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to water this plant. Beauty. 1 and 2. If there is water leaking, it's fine, because it will not be staying. I keep this under the pot. So, and if it fills in, I empty it. I want it to be empty. Not with any water here stagnating and suffocating the roots. So now you may think, oh, it has been in water, it has to always stay like super moist and with liquid soil. No, it's not going to work that way. Why? Because the plant needs oxygen, which is present in water. So in water, change water when you have the cuttings like this. Change the water every 3 days, 2-3 days. So you give fresh and oxygenated water to the plant, to the leaves, so they can develop strong roots. Once you put it in the soil, give it a moderate amount of water. Keep the soil moist, but not too wet. Why? Because the water will fill in all the air sacs in the soil, and so there will be less oxygen available for the roots. So, and also some of the roots may die, and it will cause root rot to the plant, and it will be likely to die. Passing from the water to the soil may stress a bit the roots of the leaves. So be patient if you see that your leaves are sad. It's not a problem. It will recover eventually. If you have any other questions, feel absolutely free to ask me in the comments. I'll be more than happy to help you with whatever you may need to ask me, because if you have doubts, it's my pleasure to help you. And see you next time. Ciao!